And again, folks, this is Matthew Boyle here for Breitbart News at the Conservative Political Action Conference. And my guest right now is Robert Doar, who is a mortgage fellow in poverty studies for the American Enterprise Institute. Now, Mr. Doar, can you kind of give us a little bit of a taste of what you talked about today, and how conservatives and Republicans can get to lower income communities and get the message of conservatism and freedom there?
Well, what I talked about is what we all, Americans, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, whoever, should be wanting to hear from politicians running for president about these issues concerning poor Americans. And the first thing I said they should be wanting to hear is that programs that seek to help low-income Americans should also require that they engage in some activities, some work. They should do some things that show an effort and personal responsibility.
So what is it about work and getting up in the morning, going to a job, instead of just relying on a government assistance check? What is it about going to work, not just as a source of income, but as a lifestyle that really changes people's lives and for the better?
Well, it's just healthier. It's healthier for families. It's healthier for children. People want to be independent. They want to earn their own success. They don't want to be dependent on government. And public policy should be constantly promoting and encouraging and requiring work for low-income Americans. And so conservatives that want to talk about helping the poor need to first talk about it. They need to raise the issue. They need to show how their policies work better. Right. And they also need to say that it's a reciprocal relationship between the government providing assistance and the person seeking assistance. That's to be honest, it's to be direct, and it's more successful at getting people into the workplace so their incomes can rise.
Now, one of the things what we're not talking about here, right, is getting rid of any safety net, right? So if somebody gets in trouble, you still want to be able to help them and then kind of almost maybe turn the welfare office into an employment office, right, if you will.
That's absolutely true. That's what we did in New York City. We turned all the welfare offices into job centers. Although I should say that there has to be a consequence for failing to comply. So you can't have an expectation or requirement, and then when someone doesn't comply, we do have to say, well, then benefits are going to be reduced. But that's being honest, it's being direct, and it's treating people the way society expects us to treat people. We want to help people, we want to support them, but we need them to make an effort to support themselves.
So now how can conservatives and Republicans get this message out to the look, the black community went 90% for Barack Obama in the last election. Hispanics, only 29% went for Mitt Romney. Lower income Americans, I mean, the numbers are just astoundingly voting for Democrats and liberals. How do conservatives translate this into a winning electoral message out there? How does this become, how does liberty, conservatism, and this stuff become contagious out there?
They have to show up. They have to take their argument to the communities. They have to address the issue. They can't ignore it. They can't pretend it's not something that's important to all Americans. And I think they're doing that. I think Paul Ryan or Marco Rubio, even Mitt Romney, when he talked a little bit about running for president, indicated that, brought the issue up. And I think in doing that, that message will be conveyed. And so you just have to go where the issues, these problems are. You have to talk directly to people. You have to be honest. And I think in the past we haven't. And so the first step is showing up and showing that you're interested and you know something and you have solutions. And so the Rubio plan or the Paul Ryan's Opportunity Grant plan, those are detailed proposals that have real ideas behind them. That's a start.
Okay, and again, folks, this is Matthew Boyle for Breitbart News. My guest here at the Conservative Political Action Conference. My guest has been Robert Doar of the American Enterprise Institute. Robert, can you tell us a little bit more about where people can learn a little bit more about what you're talking about?
Well, at AEI, go to our website, aei.org, and see under Poverty Studies or under my name or under Arthur Brooks, who's also written a lot about these issues. That's a good place to start. I would ask, look at what politicians are saying, and if they're not addressing these issues at all, if they're writing them off, that's a bad sign, because there is a lot of need out there. The great irony of the Obama administration is that it really has not done a good job for low-income Americans. Low-income African Americans are worse off than they were. And there's an opportunity there to convey a better message and a more likely to be successful message built around work and work supports and talking about family and the importance of two-parent families.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thanks.